Very good morning to the distinguished guests on the diocese and off the diocese. And thank you so much again for giving this platform again to me. This is going to be my second talk from Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for this opportunity to the Director General and all the team of the organizers of VSI for your kindness. Well, the title, of course, I have included the same concept here, but I just want to make it vast, so I have made a slight changes in my title, but still again plant diseases, which I'm coming from as a plant pathologist from Department of Botany, Eastern University, Sri Lanka. I'm going to talk with inclusion of the same title. The threat of the main perception here is that the objective is to make you aware that the emergence of new diseases currently, not even in Sri Lanka, not even in India, in Asia or South Asia, worldwide, now there is a threat. Of course, while we were having the discussion during the last night dinner also, the problem is the emerging plant diseases, which is the real challenges to the farmers or to the producers in whatever the sector, including sugarcane. One of the well-known pathologists, Professor Vishwanathan, he was telling the problem is the disease still what they are facing as the challenge in this sugarcane production as well. So I just want to touch this and make you aware, being microbiologists or pathologists or the botanist, actually to give you a concern or an alarm that this is, we put all our energy, labor, money, everything towards the agriculture, but the threat in the loss or the yield loss is mainly because of the plant diseases also playing a major role there. Particularly, now my concern as a pathologist, the new diseases, the pathogens can be same or the pathogens can be new, like the virus, different diseases that we get in human beings. Likewise, plants also now facing the challenges of emerging new diseases. So I just want to touch that and how that make an impact on food security globally. This is the concern. So let me move on that aspect of my presentation. So if you first look at into that, simply we all do this just because of to assure the food availability to the increasing population. So this is our main concern, being the botanist or scientist. So what is the food security? That is assuring food is available to the country. Then it is accessible to the people. Though it is available, it is accessible to the people physically and financially. Let me take one example as Sri Lanka now. We are in the economic crisis, but food supply is there, but the question is whether the people get the food, whether the people are physically, not even physically, more than financially, they are ready to buy the food. You know that there is the increasing the percentage of the people, the families, the young children, the UNICEF statistics is showing now, the children, where a huge number of percent of children and even women are going to the bed without the dinner. Instead of having 3 meals, they have 2 meals. Instead of having 2 meals, they are having 1 meal. Particularly, there is a huge percentage of children going without the dinner to the bed, not even the children. So this is now the serious problem in Sri Lanka, maybe in worldwide as well, because of this crisis. So what I'm trying to say is, food is available, but the question is whether it is financially available to the people because of all this problem. So what we could do? Then the people are healthy to absorb it, though the food is available. Then food supply. Then whether it is nutritional enough. This is another problem even in my country and everywhere. The food is available. Whether the people take nutritional enough or the availability of the food. Because again, the same thing. They can't afford for the fruits and vegetables because where the prices have gone 5 times more than the last year or 2 years back. Particularly the fruits and vegetables. So this is another big question, whether the nutritional food is available for the people. So, in this case, what I'm trying to emphasize here is the plant diseases again becoming challenges in reducing the yield. So, when the yield is getting reduced, the prices again and again increasing dramatically, which simply directly impacting the health concerns of the people. Particularly, I'm so much concerned about the children. The malnutrition of the children is going to be, it's a huge threat in my country and of course in many South Asian countries as well. So that evidences show that the plant diseases caused by the pathogenic microorganisms lead to an adverse effect in the food crop production. Let me show some important few examples which were in the history actually. Some of the diseases hit the economy of the countries, including Sri Lanka, say for example, the rice disease, the coffee disease. The total economy was collapsed from the history onwards. If you look at the 1945 onwards, the plant diseases hitting a country's economy dramatically badly, which straightly giving the impact on the food supply of the population of the country, finally of the that particular region itself. So I'm showing you some of the very important diseases which hit the economy of some countries, which made a huge economic unbalance of the country, including my country, the Sri Lanka. And so the mosaic viruses, where all these are kind of a staple food of those countries. So when the diseases is directly interacting or directly affecting such staple food, there the problem starts, the food security of the growing population. Well, according to FAO in 1996, the food security, what is the food security? All the people, all the time, physically and having economic access to sufficient, safe and nutritional food, that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. This is what the food security. But again, according to the 11th Global Food Security Index, GFSI in 2022, the world's food environment was worsened for third year in a row, endangering the food security, continuously 3 years, because this is the impact of the COVID as well. Of course, this is in turn with the plant diseases, it is going to make a big challenge to the food security. So this is what the current scenario, I just want to show here, this is what ultimately the situation of our young generation. This is going to be ultimately the pathetic situation of the young generation, the question marks of the food availability for this young generation, particularly in developing countries. I see that on the other hand, despite of this situation, there are countries, particularly the developed countries, the food availability is in the other way around. There is no issues at all. It is overproduction in some time as well, where one part of the world is suffering without the food, particularly the nutritional food. Why this unbalanced situation in the world? Why this situation? Why this is for the developing countries? I don't need to tell you that, because as long as with regard to the plant diseases, maybe the technologies, post-harvest handling practices, sophisticated technologies, and all these are contributing, because this is because of the financial situation or the financial economic situation of the country. So because of this, we lose huge percentage. If you take now the developing countries, almost we have reached 40%, 35 to 40% of the harvested produce are being lost. It is not reaching the diet level. Why? Because of the diseases. These diseases is because of improper or not well managed post-harvest handling practices. So we lose a huge amount, 35 to 40% in the developing countries, where it is still remain as somewhere around 20% in the developed countries. So this make a very serious impact on the food security in the worldwide, particularly in the developing countries. So, recognizing the key role of plants in public health, the United Nations declared the year 2020 to be the International Year of Plant Health, because to that extent it felt the necessity of the plant health. Then again, it is estimated that food production will need to be increased by 60% in 2050. It's 60% in 2050 to feed the estimated 10 billions of the expected population on the earth. So this is going to be a big challenge for us with regard to when we are talking about the plant diseases and post-harvest management of the harvested produce. Well, the plant disease and pest influence the availability and the safety of the plants for human and animal consumption, reduce crop yield, and determinately affect simply directly the quality. Then if you just look at this, some of the few examples I have picked it up, how the loss after the harvest, percentage of loss with regard to some of the important foods that we are consuming. Then again, if you look at here, the research evidence has revealed that the annual crop yield loss caused by pathogens and pests alone is estimated at US dollars 220 billion, directly impacting the food security globally. So regional economics and other socioeconomic, it's directly attacking the socioeconomic and everything in terms of plant health, the health of the children or health of the women, nutritional level of the children and all. So it is simply directly attacking the health of the growing population. So therefore, now I just wanted to show you the food security is timely, effective management of plant pathogens we are at very crucial point now. The crucial time now where we have to look into the plant disease very seriously, and effective management should be imposed of plant pathogen, pests and other microbes associated with plant diseases. So now I just want to, with this background, actually I just want to bring some of my current research works where this again, what I'm talking about, the emerging plant diseases is another threat for the country. Of course, not even I have taken several records which all I can't display here. The emerging diseases everywhere. The newly establishing disease, like in COVID. We didn't have the COVID actually to this level, this problem, but totally 3 years we got struck. Likewise, the plants also now facing serious challenges of the new diseases. Maybe the pathogens remain as same, or the pathogens now it is establishing the species level is going to be differ region to region, geographically, depends on the geographical pattern of the countries, and now the threat is the widespread of the newly emerging diseases. So let me pick up one simple example as an example of my current research, which is I'm now about to publish this. Here, you know, Sri Lanka is a beautiful country. I think you all will agree, like in India. One of the major importation for the economy of the Sri Lanka is the flowers, fresh flowers. If you go to the central part of the Sri Lanka, it's like Ooty in India. It's such a beautiful, natural beauty with the flowers. Of course, that is the exporting flowers. The Sri Lanka is very famous to export the natural flowers. But when I started this study, actually, I have started to see these foliage diseases. Of course, so far, we were so concerned about the diseases in fruits and vegetables. Suddenly now we have observed, the research evidence is showing within last 5-6 years, the foliage disease, the same diseases in leaves, which are directly affecting the photosynthesis, and it is simply attacking the aesthetic values of the plants and flowers. So these are one of the very important disease now I have picked up here as from my research. This is everyone knows this hydrangea, the flower, which is a beautiful flower which is having 4 to 5 colors, depends on the pH of the soil. The colors are changing like white, yellow, purple, blue, it's pink, beautiful. On the same tree itself, if you change the pH, the more you make it bit acidify, the colors of the flowers are changing next day. It's given such a natural beauty, and of course it is play a big role in the economic as well. So these plants, you can see now, the leaves of these plants have started to infected with the severe, very common disease which is called anthracnose, which is caused by Colletotrichum species. So it's really shocking that wherever the plants are now in Sri Lanka, these plants have started to infected with this pathogen. So it's really, as a plant pathologist, is a real worry and real concern and real shocking to me the way these plantations, these beautiful plants, wherever that in that particular central part of the area, everywhere these plants have been infected, which badly bringing down the aesthetic values of those flowering gardens. Of course, it is badly affected the exportation of these such flowers as well. So if you look at here, yes, I just wanted to see whether this is a pathogenic disease, this is a new disease. Yes, I went through the usual research methodologies, Koch postulation, which we call. So I came up with the surprising result. Yes, one of the very common problematic pathogen, which called Choletotrichum, is the causative agent of the pathogen of this disease. And of course, I did the Koch postulation, which we call to confirm the disease severity. So that also shows this is the pathogen causing the disease. And also I went for the molecular studies as well, and it showed that Choletotrichum gliosporioides already is an existing very problematic pathogen worldwide in fruits and vegetables, where now it has started to infect the leaves also, which we call the foliage diseases of major crops. Not in Sri Lanka, you can Google it and see every country, it can be China, Vietnam, many countries are almost like monthly wise, they are reporting the disease, newly emerging diseases, first reported diseases of foliage disease of this Choletotrichum and various other pathogens. So last year again, during my research, now so far I have identified 3 diseases as an emerging or newly reported diseases in Sri Lanka of these leaf pathogens, which were not there very, very recently. It is attacking the plants. So with that, I just want to convey the message, please look into this side as well, bit seriously, being the microbiologist, being the botanist. So please consider the challenge of the emerging plant diseases which directly attacking the economy of the country through the challenges of food availability or food security. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening me. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for the time.
Outset, I appreciate your lecture very much. And this is supposed to be what you told is very correct, that this is international, last year, 2020 International Year of Plant Health itself. It's very good. I appreciate your lecture, no doubt. I have a question. As far as the world agriculture is concerned, Sri Lanka and Nepal, these are the only 2 countries who has taken up the work of organic farming and natural farming. Government of India has also taken up that issue. Honorable Prime Minister has taken a preference to organic farming. I am a chairman of Integrated Farming Research in Modipuram, UP, as a RAC chairman. There was a controversy, and people are quoting the example of Sri Lanka. There is much more failure about organic farming in Sri Lanka. On behalf of audience, I would like to ask you, please make it clear about organic farming and natural farming. I do agree for your decisions and everything, but still we have a little bit confusion about natural farming. Please make it clear.
Appreciation. Yes, I'm happy to answer this question. Well, sir, that organic farming in terms as usual, we talk about the chemical-free farming. Just simply from natural fertilizer, but it is simply in other words, it's chemical free, because the reason is the contamination of the chemical farming or the chemical pesticides or the fertilizers has become a huge problem in Sri Lanka, because it is beyond the control level. Because I have personally, as a botanist or the pathologist, when I go to collect the data, it's quite surprising, because I did my studies in UK, my PhD, where, just give with an example I'm explaining you. In my research plants, I found a small disease just starting. So immediately I just wanted to spray a chemical. My supervisor, my professor, he's just stopped. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. It is only in that bigger university in the UK, my supervisor is the only one had the certification to spray the chemical. But I got surprised. The preparation I did for 3 days to spray a small amount of a chemical. Whereas, if you come to my country, if you just walk by the road, Everywhere the farmers are spraying day by day the chemicals, which is causing a huge pollution to the environment, and it is finally reaching our body through the food also. When this has become a serious issue because of the emerging diseases again, the cancer, kidney disease. In my province, we have established the well-established hospital for kidney, which is very famous now in Asia itself. Why is that? It was not there. Even single hospital was not there for kidney diseases. But now the government has established a hospital which is the biggest one in Asia. Why is that? There are so many cancer hospitals. Why is that? So this has become an awareness and an alarm to the government. And suddenly, only thing is they suddenly imposed, stop all these chemicals. Go for the natural farming. Go for the, organic farming. So this is what happened. I'm happy, of course, that has been initiated, but that also, since technically it is suddenly imposed there, it's brought down simply the yield of the agriculture, which again became one of the reasons for the country's economy, what we are facing. Thank you, sir. This is what actually the situation. Thank you.
So, ma'am, I have a very small query. Since you are working on Coletotrichum, Coletotrichum gliosporioides, you have identified from your flowers. So, can you suggest some biological control measures for Coletotrichum? Because this is the ages-old problem for sugarcane also in the form of red rot. And we are not able, means the scientific fraternity is not able to control this disease through biological means. So, do you have any clues, any idea about the control agents against?
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the study. Actually, researchers are going on with regard to the biological control, but with regard to many rice diseases, we have now achieving, like in India, we have been achieving these biological control methods, of course, absolutely, but for the newly emerging diseases, we are working parallelly for the biological control as well. As long as particularly talking this Coletotrichum gliosporioides, we are now parallelly working with the biological control also. But in Sri Lanka, so far, there is no biological control alternatives for this Coletotrichum gliosporioides. But there are for other diseases, particularly for the rice disease. Yes, it is there.
Thank you for nice presentation. So I think there are no questions from audience. So please come and have a seat.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, the audience. Thank you.